Am I the asshole for wanting to rehome our 3 cats my wife's attached to? My 28F wife, 29F, and I have been together for 3 years, married for 1. Prior to us being together she was very anti-pets, zero interest. I'd always wanted a cat. We talked and with heavy persuasion from me, ended up getting a Bengal from a breeder. She turned out to be very skittish, so we got her a Bengal sibling to maybe help. Neither of them are super cuddly, so we added a calico who is. All of these were joint decisions. Wife feeds them, I do litter box, water, meds, and Google solutions to any issues that come up. We just bought a house and I do most of the cleaning, vacuuming, dusting, tubs, laundry, etc. This was the case when I worked, but more so since I've been unemployed for 4 months. I felt discontent with the cats since we moved because I have to clean constantly to stay on top of the shed hair, the food mess, the litter tracked everywhere. They randomly throw up on rugs and pooped on the hardwood floor. Vet visit showed nothing wrong. They've ripped out the bottoms of a new sofa set and scratched up the other. And wife frets about the cats being sad when we go out of town, even though my sister watches them for free each time. All in all, I'm over them and want to rehome them responsibly. The first alone and the last 2 together. I've mentioned it before and was met with sadness and resentment for bringing them into our lives, her getting attached and now me wanting them gone. She felt I was being flaky and said I struggle with commitment. So I walked it back with the condition that wife would do more cleaning up after them. I haven't seen that happen. I understand how it would hurt my wife to give them up, but all I see are upsides with less mess, more money in the budget, more space with their cat stuff gone. Am I the asshole for prioritizing those things over her joy and love for the cats? Edit. Took out costs I initially put in along with interventions to illustrate the decision wasn't being made lightly. All in all, I'm over them. Fucking wow. Don't ever have kids. You fought for those kitties. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. The fact that you list the prices of the cats is weird AF, but onto the actual question. You made a poor decision to get 3 cats as a first-time cat owner, but they are actual, living beings and you pledged to care for them for their lives. You are capable of doing so, and your wife loves them, so you should make good on what you signed up for. Bringing them into your home required both of you to be on board, and so would getting rid of them. You are the asshole. Pets are for life. You can't give them up just because you're over them, and can't be bothered to commit to the care they come with. Plus you heavily persuaded your wife, you can't just change your mind. You are the asshole. You were the one who wanted cats and now that she is attached to them, you want to get rid of them? Nothing puts me off more than someone who gets a pet and then gets rid of it, but 3 pets are a lifelong commitment. Don't get pets if you are going to get rid of them, even to a good home. Now they are attached to you, your wife, and each other and you just want to get rid of them and possibly separate them. That's wrong emo. You are the asshole for several reasons. Let's start with the fact that you've invested $2,000 in cats. There are thousands of free cats out there that desperately need homes. You couldn't be bothered with those. You not only insisted on having a cat, but you insisted on having 3 cats. Then your wife becomes attached to said cats and you decide you want to backtrack on your commitment to have these cats. Yeah, it's definitely you. Am I the asshole for canceling my wife's vacation? I am from a developing country that was pretty dangerous when I was a kid but has come a long way in the last 20 years. My wife has watched too many movies and TV shows that show my home country in the worst possible light. My family that still lives there all tend to be in professional fields and work in medical, legal, educational, or agricultural industries. For example, one of my cousins owns several companies that make products from sugarcane waste. He makes more money than I do. My grandmother and mom regularly travel back to visit family. It is safe enough for a middle-aged and an elderly woman to travel around in. I go back all the time too. I like seeing family, but also everything there is so cheap it is very cost-effective for me to take long vacations there. After more than 5 years of dating and 10 years of marriage, my wife has finally agreed to visit with me. The plan was to go for a couple of weeks this summer. 1 week in my hometown visiting my family. And 1 week in a resort city that dozens of cruise ships stop at every day. Basically it would be safer than San Francisco. But all she has been doing since she agreed is telling everyone how scared she is to go and how she is only going because I wore her down. I have been putting up with it for over a month. Last weekend we had her uncle and his family from out of town over for dinner and her folks joined us. She started going on about how scared she is. Her aunt mentioned that they had visited the resort city on one of their cruises. She had some pictures on her phone and was showing them off. My wife still wouldn't drop how dangerous it is there and how scared she is. Yesterday I called my family and apologized for not being able to see them this year. I also cancelled our reservation at the 5-star hotel we were going to stay at. Instead I got us a very nice hotel in New York and I got some tickets for 2 shows on Broadway. Because of the price difference between the 2 vacations we are only going for a week. I told her about it and now she is pissed at me for cancelling the hotel and just taking her to New York. She has been telling all the people at the school where she works how she is so brave for going to a third world country. How she was basically going to be staying in a hut. We were going to be staying with my uncle. He has servants. The hotel was nicer than any place we have stayed since our honeymoon. I honestly thought I was doing the right thing. All she has done is complain and tell everyone how scared she is. I am scared of heights. If she had gotten me skydiving lessons as a gift after I agreed to try it, I would not be surprised if she cancelled them if all I did was complain to anyone who would listen. #EDIT. She told me every day for the last 2 months she didn't want to go. Should I have called her a liar? I just decided that she meant what she was telling me and everyone else. That she really did not want to go. Not the asshole. From the way you describe it, it sounds like one of the cities you were going to was Cartagena, Colombia. I'm from Colombia and visit there all the time. That city is beautiful and has an amazing tourist reputation. Most of the big cities are safe as long as you avoid certain area. The exact same as most cities in America. There are places in Baltimore, New Orleans, and Oakland that I won't go near. It's too bad she busted your balls so much you cancelled your trip. Some of the hotels in the old city in Cartagena are amazing. Try again though. It is a beautiful country and deserves to shed its reputation. She will love it. Not the asshole. Your wife is racist, plain and simple. Why are you married to someone who is so disrespectful of your home country and, I can only assume, your culture? First of all, you're telling me that you've been together for 15 years and she's never came with you to visit your family? Second of all, it's honestly coming off as racist on her part. Insisting the country is dangerous, seeing it as some caricature and dismissing your actual experiences? Saying she's brave for going to a third world country? Yikes. On your part, you could have and should have communicated on a decision that impacts you both. You're not the bigger awe. But you have bigger relationship problems than this trip. Not the asshole, but your wife genuinely sounds racist and xenophobic. Not sure why you married someone like that, but that's your business. Info. Why have you let all of this go on for so long without talking to her about it? This sounds like something that would have been easily solved with a conversation. Am I the asshole for moving out after my dad found out about my tattoos? I, 22F, have been getting tattooed since I turned 18. I have always loved the art of tattoos and I am also someone who likes body modifications in general. I don't have any visible piercings, I am able to hide them. But like I said, I've always loved the subculture and have quite a lot of tattoos. My father, 59M, has always hated tattoos, and he doesn't hide his distaste towards them, which I completely understand. Everyone has their preferences and their dislikes. His is a bit overboard though, where he won't even accept medical care if the nurse has tattoos. I have hid my tattoos for 4 years. I wear long sleeves during the summer, and if I am going out I just bring a change of clothes. It's become part of my routine and it never really bothered me. An estranged cousin came back into our lives a few weeks ago and to stir up drama he showed my father my Instagram page through a very close cousin's profile. He didn't follow me because I have a private profile and would never accept his request. My father was furious and for weeks he hasn't spoken to me, which I knew would probably happen. I have been walking on eggshells around him, and he has said a few things to me that have been extremely insulting. I found an apartment because I didn't feel comfortable staying there, and I was going to be moving out in April anyways, and left yesterday. I have now been receiving calls from my brother, 27 turning 28, and mother, 61, telling me that I am making a mistake and it is ridiculous that I think it was a good idea to leave because it is only making my father worse towards them. I offered them a place to stay, since I am renting a 3-bedroom basement apartment, and they told me that wasn't right and I should come home. I made my own choices as an adult and I know I am experiencing the repercussions of my choices, but I feel like my solution was a better idea than staying in a house where I am not welcome. Am I the asshole? A very easy not the asshole here. Not liking tattoos is one thing, but a weeks-long campaign of acting like a toddler about it is just stupid. Not the asshole. Everyone deserves to feel safe in the place they call home. Plus, it's your body and you can do whatever you want with it. If moving is what you gotta do what's best for you. I have now been receiving calls from my brother, 27 turning 28, and mother, 61, telling me that I am making a mistake and it is ridiculous that I think it was a good idea to leave because it is only making my father worse towards them. I offered them a place to stay, since I am renting a 3-bedroom basement apartment, and they told me that wasn't right and I should come home. Wow, not the asshole. You are absolutely allowed to, and should do what is right for you. Is your father abusive in other ways too, aside from the verbal and ignoring? I hope the rest of your family can get away from him, but that doesn't make you responsible for that. You even offered them a place to stay, their only resolve is you moving back home. That's a terrible idea, and I'm sorry you're in this position. Obvious not the asshole, he's projecting his opinion and trying to make it your problem. Not the asshole. He's made your home life unlivable and you've left. He's the problem, not you. Am I the asshole for being annoyed that my wife allowed my brother to stay at our house? My 39 brother 20 lives with his girlfriend about an hour's drive away from me and my wife. My brother and I have never been close due to the age difference. Our parents had me young, and then him later in life. He was always the spoiled one who got whatever he wanted. We see each other on holidays and special occasions, but other than that we might talk on the phone once or twice a month. Last night I had to work late and could not be reached by phone. When I got off, I noticed that I had 2 missed calls from my brother and a few from my wife, but it was already close to 11 p.m. so I chose to just drive home and not call and possibly wake someone up. I walk into the house and see my wife, 41F, and brother on the couch playing Mario Kart. When I walk in they both say hi and go back to their game. I went to the bedroom to shower and frankly, just sleep. I was exhausted. My wife comes in a few minutes later, and I ask her why my brother was there. She said, he called her because he and his girlfriend had gotten into a pretty heated argument, and he just needed to get away from the situation for a little while he figured out what he was going to do. They only have 1 car, and it's in the girlfriend's name so he couldn't take it. Apparently, he tried to call me and when I didn't answer, he called her and she went and picked him up an hour away, even though she hates driving at night. They also went out to dinner before coming home. I told her that I find it odd that she would pick up my brother and take him to dinner, just because he got into an argument with his girlfriend. That he is an adult and needed to work it out. She just rolled her eyes at me and said he would be staying in the spare room as long as he needed, that I was acting weird, and that he is my brother and has no idea why it was such a huge deal that he was here. I told her that if someone is staying at my house, especially my family, I should be the one who decides that. That he had no right to call her. That he should have waited for me to call him back, and would be talking to him in the morning. She told me to deal with it and grow up, that he was always welcome here. My wife is now mad at me and I am stuck with my brother in the house for who knows how long until he figures out his life. We already have 2 teens. I don't need another kid here. I stand by what I said. My brother doesn't need to be here, but my wife is still mad at me today. Am I the asshole for saying that she should not have picked up my brother and allowed him to stay at the house? And #X200B. Update. I don't think just because I think at 18 a person should be out of the house and not rely on family to support them makes me a bad person. People need to grow up and be adults. I expect the same from my children. They are expected to have a job and save money to move out when they are 18 and graduated from high school. If they go to college they can stay but are expected to pay for it on their own and pay a small amount of rent. My wife does not agree with this and says they can stay as long as they need. I am trying to make her see reason. As a kid, I was never taken to the zoo, museums, or out to eat. I was sent to a public school and not allowed to play sports or do activities because there was never money. I had to get a job as soon as I could. My parents were 16 when they had me. Even when they got older and had more money I still did not get the opportunities that my brother was given. He got the best and I got nothing. It's time he stood on his own. Yes, my kids got to go to the zoo, park, museums, play sports and attend activities. They get a lot of what I didn't, but those are my kids, not my brother. I don't see why my wife would take him along with her. My brother has always loved her like another mom. So I had to share her with my brother, too. I got home from work last night. Everyone was getting ready for dinner. After dinner I told the kids to please go to their rooms so I could talk to my brother and wife. I asked my brother why he was there and why he felt the need to call us instead of working it out. He said that he just needed to get out of the house. He had found out that his girlfriend had cheated on him and she was planning on leaving. She blamed him for her cheating because he wouldn't marry her or have a baby with her, and that was what she really wanted. I said what she wanted wasn't unreasonable. That he was being immature. If he could live with her, he could marry her. My wife said that not everyone wants to be married and have children that young. He is an adult. Grow up. I said I didn't appreciate them making decisions without me. This could have been sorted out the next morning. No one needed to drive 2 hours, or run away from home. I asked when my brother planned on leaving. He talked to his girlfriend. She was moving out by Sunday. Then he would go home. He had 2 months left on the lease, so he was going to look for something smaller to move into. I said that I didn't like him staying that long. My wife said, "He's your brother. A few days are not going to kill anyone." I agreed just to stop the fight. I didn't like it, but I felt backed into a corner. I still think he needs to go home and deal with his own problems. My brother said, "Thanks, I appreciate it," and walked off. My wife and I talked some more. Neither one of us is really happy with one another. You are the asshole. He's an adult, then he's a kid? Make up your mind. You were unavailable. He needed help. Nothing weird about that. Long-term staying in the house, yeah, y'all should discuss, but a night or two you weren't reachable and it happened. You sound like a terrible brother. You are the asshole. Bro, you are 40 years old. Instead of being insistent about making decisions for your family, why not learn to care about your family instead? Your brother is going through a tough time. Your wife is just trying to be nice. Why are you making this about yourself? You are definitely the asshole here, or are leaving out a ton of info. Yeah, you have some minor points. I don't like people staying at my house either, but it isn't just your house and it's family, and you didn't specify that there was horrible drama or anything. Your post comes off controlling and dickish. Sorry I'm being short, but I'm pressed for time. At most it's a, "Hey, it kinda bothered me how this all went down, can we talk about future instances?" But as written, you are the asshole. Sounds like you are Seuss that something happened between your wife and your brother. Why is it weird that they got food? You didn't pick up the phone, and even when you did notice a bunch of missed calls, shrugged your shoulders, said F it and drove home. Also, weird power play with the "it's my family I should decide" angle. That sounds controlling and has hints of jealousy in it. You are the asshole. Yeah dude, way to help out family. And trust your wife. You are the asshole all the way. What's your hang up here? Whatever it is, it's weird. Get over it.